Happy Monday morning, everybody. It's me, Lori Simpson Ortega, a host of A Victorious Life, an outreach teaching ministry located here in the beautiful city of Roses, Tyler, Texas, and the proud owner-operator of Clean Cotton, Bespoke, and Embroidery. Well, this is the last mile of the way for kinder through a pre-K, Head Start through 5th grade. And this will be my busiest week, so I'm going to take a portion of my lunch right now for this week because I don't think I'm going to get one to say this. And I hope it encourages someone. This morning when we were getting dressed for work, Fabian and I were, we're in the restroom and or bathroom, and he was at one sink, I was at the other, and I said to him as we're getting dressed, I said, all of the cords and the stoles, the fancy stoles, and the extra gold seals from Friday and Saturday night with the kids. I said, we saw kids that they had so many cords, it looked like chains, okay? We saw kids with NHS stoles on. We saw kids with, their different selections and, stems or branches or what have you. And we saw parents walking around extremely proud. We saw kids walking around like little banty roosters with all of their stuff on. I said, you know what? Here's the reality. Today, none of that means anything. High school now is nothing more than a memory. All of those fancy insignias, all of those honor cords and club cords and all of that regalia, it means absolutely nothing on this Monday morning. Because now, as I said to him, now, from this moment on, this counts. I'm not taking away from scholarship opportunities and scholarship. I'm not taking away from that. But I'm simply saying, you and I know, as adults, what those kids do now counts. I said to Fabian, and he said a few things. I said, when I was teaching at Brookhaven College, in Farmers Branch, I said, and at TJC, I said, I was able to see kids who came in as valedictorians, salutatorians, top 10, top 20, top 25, I was able to see those kids crash and burn because they had not been prepared for freedom, because they were only doing that because the parents were helicopter, like they call them, helicopter parents. They were just on them, dotting their I's, crossing their T's. I said, I was able to see those kids do and fail miserably and horribly because they didn't have the parental oversight that they had in college, that they did in high school, that made them ill prepared. I was able to have academic conferences with students because back then there was no online stuff. It was telephone or in person. Have conferences during the midterms to say to these people who came into the class, well, yeah, I was top 5. I was the valedictorian. Well, why are you? I was at UT Austin, or I was at Baylor. I was at A&M. I was at Tech. Yeah, I was at Austin College. Well, why are you back at Brookhaven? Well, you know how to, well, what happened or what had happened was, it's like, oh, okay, well, you don't owe me any explanation. We're just gonna, let's get through this. And I had the horrible misfortune of having to tell those students, you might should drop this class before it gets placed on your, you need to withdraw with an F as opposed to just having an F on your transcript. I had the unfortunate misfortune of telling kids that. I also had the misfortune of telling parents who would call at TJC, where's my child? My child's not, I called their room and they're not in there. And I do, well, unfortunately, your child is 18 and I don't have permission. I check the files to see if they signed the consent form for you to discuss any of their academic progress. And no, you didn't sign it, so I'm not at liberty to share anything that's a violation of college policy. So no, I'm unfortunately I'm not able to share any information with you. So that's the question. Can they do it now? This is when it starts. This is when it begins. This is when it happens. And I said to my husband, I said, I remember in high school, I never wanted a high school ring. I said, I never really wanted one of those. They were pretty. I had the opportunity to get one. I said, but something my father said triggered something in me years ago. He said, anybody, he said, everybody can be amazing and wonderful in high school, but can you be wonderful and amazing in college? Can you keep that same level of discipline and stick-to-itness? Can you do that in college? And so I said, I was telling Fabian this morning again, I said, so that's one of the reasons I never got a high school ring, because I wanted a college ring. My mind was always set and geared towards getting that college ring, because I knew back then everybody couldn't sign, colleges, you couldn't do like you do now. You just go order, go to a diploma mill and just say I'm a doctor, wink, wink, or a therapist or a psychologist or whatever, or I graduated from this college, and then just get you a ring, get the regalia for that. Back then, I got my college ring, ordered it from Jim's Jewelers after I graduated, like the year after I graduated. We had to go downtown to the old Jim's Jewelers, and they had to call the university before they even started casting the molds, so that the university could verify, yes, she is an alumni of this university, because that meant more to me than a high school ring. And that's really what I felt inspired to say to you today, to tell all of those kids that graduated, grab those kids. These are different times. Grab those kids and say to those kids, hey, PJ, this is when it counts. I know we said that to our son on yesterday. We said, this is when it counts. All that other stuff, that was good. That was Friday, that was Saturday. Keep the memories, but don't get stuck. That's what I want to say to the adults. Keep the memories, but do not allow yourself to get stuck. Keep the memories, but move forward. Keep the memories, but progress. Keep the memories, but stay focused. Every day is start over. Every day is a good day to get started. Every day is a good day to end something. Every day is a good day to progress. You know what every day is not a good day to do? Wallow. You know what every day is not a good day to do? Stay bitter, stay angry, stay upset. Stay tied to the past. Keep the memory, Okay? Store the memory, but you control the narrative for the memory. All of the negative things, adults, we're about to hit the midpoint of the year. This is your mid-year part one of your mid-year checkup. I'll hit you back up in June. If negative things happen to you in your childhood, your teen years, your adult life, look at how old you are now. At 57, has life been a crystal stair for me? No. I've had my share of climbing. But you know what? I refuse to stay at the bottom of the stair on step one. I refuse. So all of the negative things, use those as stepping stones. Use those as you know, as a crutch or a leaning post to get you started. But if people hurt you, if life for you was hard, and if you were taken advantage of, and I hate to use these examples, you know, because they're very sensitive. But if people were, you know, touching on you as a little kid or a teenager, and you were out having to do horrendous things to survive, you know, go to a licensed therapist, not a life coach. Get you some help, therapeutic help, some professional help. In addition to your running, shouting, screaming, throw them hands up help. Because that kind of stuff, you've got to get that off your shoulders and navigate through that in your mind. Because if you're not careful, you will be spiritually secure and spiritually in tune, but those demons of the past will prohibit you from moving forward. If your parents were if your mother was abused, you know, by your father, if physical abuse was prevalent in your home, and if your father was beating your mother, and your mother was fighting back, or your mother was a fighter, I'm saying, as an adult, and if you find yourself angry, and you find yourself wanting to punch and hit on, you know, your kid, beat your kids, and I'm saying, stop that. This is when it counts. You gotta move forward. You can keep the memory, and what I'm saying by keeping the memory, think back to how that made you feel when you saw your mother getting hit, when you saw your father verbally abusing your mother, or you know, think back to how the shame you felt, the hurt, the guilt that you felt as a child. I'm saying keep that memory, but don't let that memory hold you hostage. Remember that and thank God by saying, Lord, I will never go back to that. Lord, I thank you that you brought me through that. Lord, help me to be the best that I can be. Lord, help me to move forward. Lord, send somebody in my life that's going to help me to keep moving. That's all I'm saying. It matters now. What you do as an adult matters now. And you can always start over. You can always progress. You can always start. Just don't become comfortable allowing your memories to hold you hostage. Don't be the person standing on the sidelines looking at the high school students, always telling them what you could have been, what you used to do, how amazing and wonderful you were in your past. We need grown-ups to be to do some stuff now. We need some adults to be amazingly wonderful in the present. We need some adults to be very transparent, to tell these kids, wait a minute, if you knew that you didn't do the things that you needed to do, dot I's and cross T's, we need you to speak life into these kids by sharing your life story with them, to say, look, I didn't have all this kind of opportunity. This kind of opportunity, don't screw this up. Don't mess this up. You know, I want you to be better than me. I don't want you parents saying, I don't want you to be like me. No, look, I'm expecting for you to be better than me. I'm expecting for you to do that. Well, I gotta go. Let me put on my Clark Kent Superwoman glasses. And as we always say, if you have Christ, you're already a winner. If you have the Spirit of the living God, you can face any challenge life throws your way. You can live a victorious life. God bless you.